Hi, this is Dr. French with episode 2 of the Full Metal Beavers Patreon podcast. I'm sitting here with Kehanna Nosworthy. She is a current member of the Full Metal Beavers Robotics team. Hi, Kehanna.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm feeling okay.
So we were talking about ghosts earlier before we started recording. And we're not really going to be talking about living or dead things. We're going to talk about robotics and just your experience on the team. So let's take us back way before robotics. What were you doing before joining the robotics team?
I joined robotics in junior year. So sophomore year, I was in law team, and I didn't feel like that was like a place for me because I don't think I grew in that team, and I didn't get a chance to like fully like be a part of the team.
Right.
But I would like be here every day after school, and I would see robotics and I would see what they were doing, and it would be very interesting. And I remember like a few people telling me, oh, you should join the robotics team. Oh, it's like cool, it's better than like law team.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Oh, FYI, we don't hate the law team.
Yeah, we love it.
Yes. Okay, so people were telling you to, maybe you should join robotics, and then you actually saw that it was kind of fun. What were you seeing?
Yeah.
Like, what did
I
you
mean,
think
like,
was
everyone
fun?
well, some people were yelling.
Okay.
Like, that wasn't fun, but like they were actually having fun and laughing, and like they seemed like they actually like wanted to be here after school every day and not actually like just feel like they were being forced here.
Okay.
And just like the room, like your room always seemed like very like welcoming.
Okay.
Because I remember in your room, like you had this sign that it had something to do with like it was a the pride flag, and then I was like, no other like room in the school had anything like that, because I don't think anyone really wanted to like talk about stuff like that.
Okay.
So I felt like your room was like welcoming. And then I remember in Spanish class, Bushra, she said that she was going to join the robotics team.
Okay.
And then since I heard that someone else wanted to, I was like, okay, I'm not that scared anymore. Nice. So then I started working on my application at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I submitted it in June, right before like school. Like,
right before school ended.
Right before school ended. It was like a few weeks before Regents Week.
Yeah.
And I had my interview at the end of the year. And it was pretty scary.
Yeah. I remember, I think you were in Mr. Balcaron's room, so the room right next to mine, and I had came in and said, oh, how are you doing? And you were kind of nervous.
I was very nervous.
Yeah. And then I remember you had 2 boys, pretty intimidating boys. Oh, 3 boys, excuse me. 3 boys, what I thought were intimidating interviewers, interview you. And then afterwards I asked, oh, how do you think your interview went? And you just looked defeated on your face.
Yeah. I went home and I was like, I'm probably not going to get in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was when you were a sophomore, the end of your sophomore year. Now you're a senior. Can you talk about just, I guess, the difference from then, that like unsureness, that timidness, that scariness, to now? How do you feel now?
Like personally, or just like about the team?
Just anything, however you want to answer that question.
Well, I feel personally for me, I think like the team made me grow like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It made me like want to approach people more and not be like scared to talk to people, and made me like be able to present in class. Because I remember nice. I would stay home some days if I had to present.
Oh, you're one of those students.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was one of those students.
Oh, nice.
And I remember in robotics, like one of like the whole team meetings, they asked me to speak about the driver's station. Yeah. And that was the first time I spoke in front of everyone. And I remember being terrified because everyone was staring at me. Yeah. And it was just really awkward. And in my head, I knew what to say. Yeah. But like the words weren't coming out right. Okay. So I was very nervous. And that happened like a lot, but like over time with robotics, because I had to speak in front of people. Yeah. Especially at the competition, and especially at the competition when I had to like scout, and I would go up to other teams, and it was, at first it was like really intimidating, but I think when I got like comfortable, I was like, these are like high school students. They're not scary. They're kids who are doing the same thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like I got over that fear that I had of like just talking to people. And I think I carried that throughout like the rest of the year and going on into senior year now.
Do you feel, I mean, you had that epiphany. Do you feel like it was at the competition that you had that awakening?
It was at the competition.
That was New York City regional, right? Oh, why couldn't you go to the first one?
I got suspended from the first competition.
What was the reason? Do you remember?
No.
I think it was.
It was grades. I didn't get.
Miss King.
Yeah.
It was AP Psychology.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that class. How what was that class like?
It was the hardest class like I've taken like all throughout high school. Not like content wise, but like the workload, because we would get 100 multiple choice questions a night. We would have to do vocabulary on index cards. We had to write free response questions like every night, and it was hard to juggle that class and juggle AP Calculus and then juggle build season. It was very.
Oh my God, you were in AP Calc as well last year?
Yeah.
Oh wow, how'd you do in that class?
I didn't do well in the AP exam.
All right. Do you feel like members, like new members, rookies as they're called, that we call them, do you think that they're going to have that same type of awakening at the competition? Or
Definitely. I think some of them are already starting to have it. Like I noticed like Sandesh. Yeah. I remember like his first meeting, he was just sitting like in one of the chairs, like in your room. He was just quiet the whole time. He didn't say anything. But now like he comes up to everyone and he like talks, and like it's a big difference. I really, really like that. Like when I see students just go through that transformation, like you're one of those students that went through this transformation. But when I see and observe students, members, part of the robotics team as they grow, mature, learn, it really fits into our like mission statement. I just am like proud about that. Yeah. So when you joined the robotics team, you were electrical engineer in the controls division. You were actually the only girl electrical engineer, and you're also a Black girl that was in like the controls division. And for the listeners, the controls division, they're responsible for controlling the robot, programming, wiring, doing all the electrical work of the robot. They work with the mechanical division. The mechanical division is building the physical robot. The controls division is making sure that it works and has function. So being one of the very few Black girls on the team, how did you feel about that? This is now getting like some sensitive topics. Well, at first it was very uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, there was one day where I was working on this like Bobot that had like spider legs on it, and all the guys kept saying, "Oh, it's because she's a girl, she can't fix it. It's this and that." And actually, like I went home that day and I was like, "I'm quitting. I'm done." It's like I can't handle it, and I was like over it. But then my sister and Sanjita, they both like talked me out of it. They're like, "You can't listen to them. What do they know? They know nothing." They were like. They were sitting there struggling to program, and then I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So then, even though like they kept doing it like for the majority of the year, I pushed through that, and I think they respect me more now that I like didn't quit and actually like stayed.
Do you ever feel like girls have to kind of be 2 times as tough as boys?
Definitely. Like I think like with girls, like with guys, they automatically expect a guy to be good at something. Yeah. But when like a girl does it, it's like, oh wow, I can't believe you did that. It's crazy. And it's like okay, but he could do it, so why are you like surprised that I could do it? Yeah. It's like, even with my family, like anytime like I help them do something, like there was one time like my mom, she bought a treadmill. Yeah. And it's just me and my mom and my siblings. Like it's all girls basically, and then my little brother. So I'm the only one who could do it because my mom, she doesn't know how to put anything together. And it was like she was surprised that I could do it, and I'm like, why? It's like just because I'm a girl, it doesn't mean I can't like do something. Yeah. And like I think now that she realizes like that it's not about like gender. Yes. she's like moving away from doing that like a lot. She doesn't compare me to like my male cousins or anything.
That's awesome. I'm so glad like there's at least one person at a time is trying to change that philosophy, that viewpoint, and seeing that girls definitely can do the same things the boys can do, and in a lot of cases they can do them better. What about now? Like, obviously there's still examples of sexism on the robotics team. How would you like? How are you dealing with that? It hasn't completely disappeared, has it?
No, there's still like male members who are sexist. There's also some female members who are sexist. Like, it goes both ways. But a lot of the times it's like the guys will like come after you all the time. But I think now for me, I realize like their like opinion doesn't really matter about it because they're not doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
So it doesn't really like matter if they're like constantly in my ear saying, this has to be this way, that has to be that way. It's like you can like do your work, and I know what I'm doing, you know what you're doing.
Yes, naps. Okay, love that. Girl power, or black girl magic, as they say. Okay, so how about you talk about what you're doing? Last year you were doing like electrical work, and then you transferred. Now you're in a completely different division. This is a new division this year. Talk about the productions division and what your role is.
Well, now I'm the manager of the productions division, so we are responsible for all of the like content that goes out, like anything that goes on our Instagram, anything that goes on Patreon.
Yeah.
And like we work on the videos, the photos, the posters that we put around school.
Right.
And like currently we're working on the Chairman's Award video, which is like the most prestigious award in FIRST, and it's to show like how we promote innovation in STEAM in our like in our community. So we're trying to show that in a video, hopefully for the competition.
And you guys have been working really hard on this Chairman's Award video. Every day has been a meeting.
Yeah.
What are the what are the expectations like for this award? Are we expecting to win it? Are we expecting to just put together like a great video? Or are we expecting like high production value? What are your expectations?
I want us to win because like, I feel like if we're putting all this effort in, we should just like at least win.
Yeah.
I mean, even though there's like competition, but like I feel like sometimes we deserve it. Like sometimes because it's like we work really hard and like everyone's putting in so many hours. Like this week, it's Regents Week. Most people are home, but we're here from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
I know. It's crazy. Like Joel, he didn't get any sleep. He was working on a different award, digital animations, and he's actually asleep in the room right now. He fell asleep while animating. Crazy. Talk about some of the other projects that the productions division has been into, like some of those other video projects.
Well, we did another video that went up in during Thanksgiving of like different members on the team showing what they were thankful for in STEAM and in the school, like in life in general. And I think that one was my favorite of what we did because I got to hear what everyone had to say and how like their life has been impacted by the robotics team. And we also did recently the What Are You Looking Forward to in 2020 video, where we got to see like what a few people's goals were for the year. Even though some of them didn't fully know what they want, they knew like at least one of them was to be a part of this team and like watch the team grow.
Where could people find those videos? Like if they're listening to this podcast, where could they find those videos?
They're posted on Patreon.
Okay, they're on
Instagram.
Nice, and on Instagram. Yeah. We have a YouTube channel. Are they uploaded to YouTube yet?
The recent one, yeah.
Okay. The What You're Looking Forward to 2020. Wow. There was another thing that you kind of did, which was very, very impressive. You got one of the highest scores on the game manual test. I think you got like over a
62.
A 62.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest ones, and there was like 62 out of 55. So you got like extra credit. How did you prepare for that? Besides cheating? No,
I would never cheat.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Well, I failed the first one, but I feel like the test that I prepared for was for the second one because I memorized a lot of the numbers and not like the rules, which I realized like that was where like my mistake was. So when I went back to study again, I made sure to do both. And then the team also did a live stream. So when that went up, I watched that. And then I went back and rewatched it like 3 times. Okay. So I could like remember everything.
How long was the live stream? It was like an hour.
Yeah, about an hour.
So you watched it. You spent 3 hours.
Yeah.
Plus.
Nothing better to do.
Oh, nice. By the way, the game manual test. This is a exam administered by the robotics team to its members to make sure that they read the game manual. And this year was 126 pages or something like that. Yeah. A lot of rules to memorize and know for this year's competition. Yeah, I was really impressed. And you were taking notes too. Like, yeah. Those.
Passed it on the first try too.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's nice. I didn't have to retake my exam. I did it the first time.
Can't relate.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, what do you think about the team this year compared to last year? What's like your honest opinion?
It's a huge difference. I think even now, like we're more like strict. Like it's a lot of like last year I thought there was a lot of like commitment that needed to be like done, but I feel like this year it's even more because we're doing so much more. Like from September to December, we were doing like monthly projects, and it was way different because last year there were no monthly projects.
Right.
Everything didn't start until build season basically, and this year it was like 3 or 4 projects a month, and it was like we were here every day.
Yeah.
But last year we weren't here every day. Like we were here like twice a week before like build season, but it was like every day until like 5 to 6. You know, it was a huge jump.
Yeah.
Which I actually kind of like it because I like for some reason I like being in the school.
Okay.
Like I like just the energy of everyone. I like how much fun we have because I feel like I found my friend group here. So it's like I kind of like that we had more to do this year than just like waiting until build season. I think we got more done too.
Do you find it difficult to like, if you're doing robotics every day, you also probably do robotics when you go home. How are you finding that balance of like schoolwork, a social life, spending time with your family, eating, and also robotics? How are you able to?
Well, academically this year, I don't have like the biggest course load like last year. Like last year I had 2 APs. This year I was like, I don't want to, like my mental health, I didn't want to take 2 AP courses again.
Yeah.
And do robotics. So I have like a bunch of electives this year. So it's like mostly like it's more of an easy course load.
Right.
And like I find time when I'm at home. Like I share a room with my sister. So like we're always like spending time together. And my friends are here every day. So like, I'm always spending time with them. Or like even after robotics, we'll like hang out. Or just like I just find time like whenever.
Yeah. That's really interesting. You know, this theme of balance, I find myself using that word over and over, and that is taken from one of our directors on the team, Mazor. He's actually, look, he's trying to FaceTime me right now. He mentioned that during, I think, one of the expectations or one of the requirements at our kickoff meeting, that every member needs to find some form of balance. And I think that's great that you're able to easily balance robotics with the rest of your life. What type of advice would you give to, let's say, like rookie members or like, let's say, the future manager of productions?
I think,
and how to find balance.
I think they need to like I feel like they need to talk to people, like, just so that they can figure out what needs to work. Because I feel like sometimes people, they want to get everything done on their own, and then they're like, oh, I don't have time for this. But if you find people to actually help you get things done, then you can like manage your time better.
Yeah.
And like just like communicating with people.
I totally forgot these stupid bells do that. Okay, communicating with people.
Communicating, I think it like people will help you out and like manage your time. I know like with my friends, like when I have a lot of work to do, they'll say, oh, do you need help? And I'll like give them like half of my work, and then then we come together and we put all of the work together, and that then I'm able to like juggle what I have to do with what like just like spending time with people. And I think communication is what I need to focus on.
That's really good advice. I really hope if there are members that are listening, they take your advice, Kehanna. What about like you're doing a project right now? This filming. What can you talk about some of the filming that you have to do and how are you splitting up that work?
Well, so it's not just filming because we also have to like collect like the photos and stuff and all the videos. So I like organize like a day for each thing. So like yesterday was the day that we collected everything, like all the photos, all the videos, and I decided that today was going to be the day that we film. That way, it's like not everything isn't just like pushed into one day. It's like separated. That way, people can like they'll know. Okay, we're gonna do this today, and tomorrow we're gonna do that. So now, everything should be done in like the right time frame, I feel.
So that's something like a really good leader does, like breaking up the work, creating a schedule. Let's ask a hard question. Where did you learn to become a leader?
The robotics team.
nice answer. But how? Like, how did the robotics team? Bro, it's so offensive. Okay, let's try that again. How did the robotics team make you a leader?
Can't think of the first moment. I think the competition, because I remember we were like in the stands and we were chanting, and people weren't chanting yet, and I was like trying to collect everyone. I was like, okay, let's go, let's like chant, let's do this together. I think that was the first time like I led anyone in robotics. And we were also like on the bus the day before, we were like teaching them the chant that we made. And like those were like the first times that I was like a leader in robotics, I feel. And I think that like it taught me like, okay, I can like get people to like listen and like, do what I need them to do, and like just so that we could get the work done.
So basically, being like the head cheerleader prepares you to film for like, the Chairman's Award.
For like robotics, it's like you don't have to be like a director or manager to be a leader. You can like lead like your own projects. Yeah. Just like even at the competition, that was like me leading something, or like even when I was making buttons and I needed like a team of people to like help me.
You're the lead button maker.
I needed like three or four people to help make buttons,
and you had a little team. No, that's true. That's true. You're absolutely right about like you don't really need to be a director or manager or somebody like with these super fancy titles to be a leader on the robotics team. That was something I noticed last year, at the New York City Regional, and I'm thinking about back at the stands. Shamar was also kind of getting mad, like, people are doing it. Like,
it was so upsetting.
Yeah. And I like that. And that was a great contrast to, I remember that suspension conference that was referenced earlier. We had a breakthrough about you, like, reluctant to... Oh. What the hell is going on with this podcast? Anyway, I remember at that conference, we had a breakthrough about you having reluctance to make a fool of yourself. And now I think you're like a really goofy person.
Yeah, I think like, so too.
I think so much of your personality has really like bloomed or opened up since that conference. I think that was like
the moment.
The moment. Yeah. Yes, the moment. It was amazing. And I talk like when I talk about you, Kehanna, in a sometimes positive light to other people. I talk about that conference, and I talk not specifically what happened, but just like that was the moment where I kind of started paying attention to you more, It's kind of cool. You talked about your friend group. Was this the same friend group before robotics?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I had 1 or 2 friends before robotics. I mean, like, I knew everyone. I knew, like, Sanjita. Like, she was the one I was closest with before robotics. but like I knew of like Satuna and Renuma and Anupa and Freddy and all of them, but I never like spoke to them.
Yeah.
And like robotics like made me like push myself to like try to like be friends with more people. And like I think because I like joined robotics, I like have like people I'm going to miss when I leave.
Aww.
Like I was talking about it with them yesterday. I was like, I really wish like I met them like 4 years ago and was like friends with them. But I think robotics as well like was the reason I like gained like this amazing like friend group.
Yeah, it's really a great positive impact, just like that social aspect of robotics. Like not only are obviously there's a robot being built, and just like a disclaimer, only about like 25% of the team actually builds the robot. The 75% of the team is kind of doing behind the scenes or front of the scenes work that are not related to the robot. It's really unrelated. Like this chairman's award, this is like very robot adjacent. This podcast is very robot adjacent. It's robotics, but it's not the robot, you know? So, but another kind of important aspect of robotics is this like social circle that gets created. It's a very strong social circle. It's also a pretty strong support group too. And I really, really like that. Like when I had decided to create this program back in 2015 as just a robotics club, I wasn't expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting this podcast. I wasn't expecting to be talking to like manager of productions. I wasn't talking about people, members finding like their best friends or their close friends on the team, you know. So it's nice. It's nice to think about that, and it's actually like a double-edged sword, like both heartfelt and heartbreaking that you made such great friends with some of these people, and then you're going to be leaving some of them in a few months.
That's why I always tell like the freshmen, like you're going to find your friends here.
Yeah.
And you have 4 years with them. Like, you want to spend your time here, and just like even if you think that you don't have like friends in school, in robotics, you're gonna find friends. Like, I don't think anyone on the team who like is isolated from everyone else.
Yeah. I was talking to a member for one of their conferences earlier this week, and he was saying that like his friends that he sits with at lunch are the people on robotics, and he didn't have friends before joining. So I'm just glad that he was able to come into high school, because he was nervous about making friends as an 8th grader coming in as a 9th grader. Unsure about like, who do I sit at with lunch? Like, oh, that's so scary. That's like one of those TV things, you know? You're like, oh, where do I sit? What do I sit next to? So I'm glad that like the robotics team is able to kind of have people relax and be like, okay, well, I know who I'm sitting next to at lunch. So you're going to be graduating. Let's talk about your plans, or what you think is going to be happening after graduating. So you're graduating in June 25th, I think, is the graduation. That's like less than 150 days away.
Yeah.
Woo, countdown. So what are your plans, or where do you see yourself after June 25th?
Well, I'm going to spend the summer with like my friends as much as I can until August comes and have to go to school. Hopefully I'm going away.
Okay.
I already got into University of Buffalo.
Okay.
And I applied to a few other schools. And I want to go away to like get that experience of just like living on campus and being away and being independent. Because like I have a family of like 4 kids. Ooh. So it's like,
so you're always around someone.
Yeah. So I want to be able to like be independent and like be away from my family. So hopefully I get to go away for school, and I want to double major. I want to major in arts, and then I want to major in business, so I get both while I'm in college. And then hopefully in like 4 years I can graduate, of course, and then I want to like come back to robotics, and like I want to be a mentor, but like, do they want me?
Okay, yeah.
I would love to be a mentor for robotics one day and just like watch the team grow even more, because I know hopefully in 4 years like the team is gonna be bigger than it already is.
Yeah.
Full Metal Beavers is gonna be a company.
Yes.
I have so many ideas.
You know, we actually filed with New York State our articles of incorporation. We're trying to become Full Metal Beavers Incorporated.
Oh my gosh.
So we're just waiting on those. Hopefully they approve us. Those are for tax reasons we're doing that. I like that, Kehanna. I like that you still have robotics.
I'm always thinking about robotics.
Oh, speaking of that, someone said recently that time spell.
Oh.
Okay, give some background on that time spell, and then I'll ask my question.
Well, December 1st fell on a Sunday. I think it was Sunday or Saturday, and I needed it to be on Monday because it was World AIDS Day. Yeah. So it was supposed to be for awareness, and I wanted everyone in the school to like wear red. Yeah. But it was on a Sunday, so I was like, I have to freeze time. So I went on Google and I looked up a time spell, and and I memorized it, and I was starting to chant it. Then I'm like, I need more people. Yeah. So I get some more people. Yes. And I was like, okay, you guys have to memorize it. So it's like 5 people. Yeah. We had to look at the clock, say the chant, and then hopefully time would freeze. Yes.
But Satuna wasn't like, fully on board. She wasn't committed.
Haters.
Yes. And unfortunately, the time spell like broke. It didn't work. Yeah.
It will work one day.
It will work one day. So my question was, I woke up this morning to someone saying in the Discord, referencing that time spell, and oh my God, we're really out here. We really are like a cult. So so this is a serious question about that, like the whole cult. Do you think robotics is a cult? Like, honestly?
No, I don't really know what a cult, like what you define a cult. I feel like, I just think people think that, it's robotics. It's just robotics. They just want to hang out with robotics. Yeah. I mean, I think on the outside it will look like a cult, but I feel like, I don't know what a cult is. So I don't think anyone knows like the definition of a cult. I think it's just like, oh, okay, I see all these kids and they're like hanging out in this room every day. Yeah. And like, they're just like, oh, okay, they're a cult. They drink vanilla Coke and they're all like, they have a chant. But I don't think we're a cult. I don't see why people want to like say that. Kind of hurts sometimes. Yeah. Like all the haters, but like, it's like, I don't see why. Like,
do you think it would validate their suspicions if we all stepped outside? Because there's the clock tower in front of the building, right? We stepped outside. Maybe we're all robed in some type of like black robes,
then we're a cult.
And then we start chanting your time spell.
Then we're a cult.
Then we're a cult. Yeah. And wouldn't that be crazy if the time actually started ticking again on that clock?
That would be crazy.
Wow.
Next production project.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great idea. No, we should really do that. And it would
really?
No, I'm so serious. We'd have to get the robes. I think that's kind of expensive. But we should definitely do that. I don't know how we'd get the clock
it's
hands
broken.
Moving. Yeah. It's stuck forever on that time.
Damn, I think my spell worked.
Oh my goodness. So interesting. Just the idea. I really felt very what's the word? Like warm when you said 4 years of college, you want to do a double major. That's crazy. First of all, double major. Good luck.
I know.
It's very, very like ambitious, and I wish you the best of luck because I have some friends who did double majors, and they were like, I never want to do that again. But they graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees. So.
But I'm spending all that money. I might as well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So after all that, after that hard work you're going to be putting in, you're talking about you want to be a mentor for the robotics team. So I love that. It's like, not only is it commitment, but it's like, you really, really care about the robotics team. And then the idea that you have a vision that in 4 years, it's going to be better. I love that, Kehanna. So what does your family think about you wanting to move away? Like you wanting to travel?
Well, I've been saying this since the 6th grade. So at first, my mom was against it, but now I think she wants me to leave because with like when she's the youngest of like 11 kids. Okay. So when she was younger, my grandfather, he like never wanted her to leave like the house. He never wanted her to go anywhere. She wanted to be a teacher, but he like didn't want her to go for more school. He didn't want to like pay anymore. So so I think now she doesn't want to hold me very like tightly. She like lets me like just go, like even when I'm out. She doesn't ask me like what time are you coming home. She's like, she trusts me.
Oh, so she just doesn't care about you anymore.
I think she cares.
Oh,
she just,
okay.
Like, she used to be like very like on like
on
when
you.
are you gonna be here? Yeah. But I think she trusts me a lot. Like she knows I'm not gonna do anything like crazy yet. But like she really wants me to go. She's like if we have to like take out a loan, it's fine, which is very surprising because a lot of people's parents don't want to pay all of that money.
Yeah, that's really good. Your mother's very supportive. Is there anything you want to say to your mother if she's listening to this?
I don't know if she's gonna listen to this.
But is there anything you want to say, just like to your mother in particular?
I mean, I love you. But like when you hug me, it's uncomfortable. She knows that I don't like hugs, but like she'll hug me and then I'm like, don't touch me. Okay. And then it's like, it's fine. she knows it. She knows I love her, but like I just don't like people touching me.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. It's cute. Thanks, Mom. You also drive.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because you know when I first met you, I was like, this nervous little girl. I was like, I don't equate like nerves and driving, but now you're like, you gain confidence enough to be driving on the road in New York.
Yeah, it's
the
scary.
New York roads. Yeah, so talk about that like driving experience.
Well, my mom pushed me to get my license because I'm like, I don't really need a license. I mean, the MTA, like I can go anywhere,
right,
so
yeah.
I didn't really need it. Then she made me get my permit, and then, like, I didn't even study for the test. I just like took a practice test. Then I went and like took the test at the DMV, and somehow I passed. So then, like 6 months.
That's a flex.
I know. So then, like every Saturday, she would take me driving, and then 6 months later, we went to to driver's ed, and I only took like 5 classes, and I was pretty good at it. So
okay, yes. See, this is I'm talking about that confidence. Yes.
Except for parking, I would cry when I couldn't park.
Really?
Parallel parking was so difficult. I don't know why. And
did your car have a backup camera?
No.
That's probably why.
The old car. Okay. So it's like she's like I don't know what it's called, but it has like 3 rows. It's like a big ass car.
Oh. That's okay. We're not editing that out. We're not editing that out.
She has a big car, so it's like it was hard to like maneuver and everything. Yeah. But I think like
it's like a minivan, SUV. What is this?
It's like I don't know.
Okay, it's a big car.
It's a big car.
Yeah.
It's the one that you saw like.
Oh, that I tried to crash into.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I took my driver's test in August, and I was terrified. Like I get uncomfortable with like new people.
Yeah, strangers.
So it was just like a stranger, and she had the straightest face.
Yeah, these instructors they're
so scary.
These evaluators, they're like, yeah, they're scary.
Yeah, and I took it like not far from here, like at Casino Park where we had our picnic.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I know the area. Okay, I'll be fine. And I'm like in the car, and it was hot. It was like summer. It was hot. You have to have the windows down. So I'm in the car, and I'm like sweating. The lady straight in face. She's like, okay, like she's like, pull off. So I go, and I'm like, and I'm driving. I'm shaking, and she's like, okay, make a right here. And I turn, and like I do all the turns and the stops and everything. And she's like, oh, you're turning too slow. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pass. So then she says, okay, parallel park between these 2 cars. And I was like, it's over for me. Like, I'm done. I was like, I'm not going to pass. And I did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like so scared. She said, you were almost too far from the curb. And I was like, God, please don't, because I can't do this again. So then I drive back to like the area. And she's like, here, congratulations. And I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, I literally thought I failed. It was like a big accomplishment.
Yeah, no, it is a big accomplishment because that's tough. It's tough. There's so many opportunities to instantly fail that road test.
Yeah.
Yeah, those evaluators,
So
road test
scary.
people, yeah, those road test administrators, they're very scary. My administrator, he did not smile. I was very happy. I was like, "Hi, how are you?" He's like, "We're gonna begin." I didn't even answer my question.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't know. My test that day, I had to drive by, I don't know what it was, like all the school buses were out and they were parked and double parked in the street. And so I was driving like 20 miles an hour past the school buses. I was like, oh, let me slow down. He had told me at the end I should have driven even slower because like, what if a child had run out of the school bus and I killed the child? He's like, not only would you have failed the test, but you would have been in jail. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Do they hate their jobs that much?
I have no idea. They must go through a lot of people every day. So
it's true.
The DMV, that's like a stereotype. Everyone's really unhappy.
Even when I went for my permit, they were just like angry. I'm like, chill out. Just like,
yeah. They should have joined the robotics team.
They should have. Maybe they need some friends.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm actually very impressed by you, Kehanna. You're one of the few students in the school that I'm like impressed by. I've gotten to see just like a very small growth of yours because I haven't gotten to know you that much. When you had taken my class, you were in 10th grade when you took my class, and that was engineering.
Yeah, and physics.
And physics at the same time. Let's not talk about physics. Physics is a beast. Let's talk about engineering because I'm a bit more chill in engineering. How was that class for you?
I mean, there was a lot of presentations, and that was like my worst fear.
Yeah. So
that was like very hard for me to overcome, I think. But I like the work that we did, like the music one, the sound engineering. That one was really cool, and also like we're at the house one where we had to like build like a model of the house. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Was that the one in like, some people had to build a house on a volcano or something? Was it that one?
No, we didn't do that this year.
Okay.
And then also the bottle rocket.
Oh.
Even though I only did it once because there was an issue.
I totally forgot about the issue. Remind me.
Someone egged the car. Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They egged a security officer's car.
Yeah. So everyone's like rockets like canceled.
Yeah, I canceled that.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
I remember because I was scared.
I think that's unsolved. Like, no one knows who egged the car. I think you know what it was, which is it was a coincidence. It's an unfortunate coincidence because I kept track of all the eggs. If an egg survived, we broke it. So I don't know who got their hands on eggs.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So I just think it was like a coincidence, like a weird coincidence at the time. But did your egg survive after that first launch?
No.
Oh, you didn't fail the project, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I don't think I failed any projects. Did I? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
you
did.
Such a long time ago.
Engineering is pretty easy to pass. You basically fail if you don't submit your work. Yeah, that was a long time ago. What advice would you give? Just thinking back to the 10th grade. What advice would you give to, let's say, Kehanna entering high school?
Join robotics. It's like my biggest regret. Oh my gosh, I should have joined freshman year. I missed out on so much. Like even like the first build team meeting, like that Saturday.
Yeah.
I remember like we were looking at the pins that we get for like every competition, and like Freddie, he has like all of the pins, and like he has like the medal. And I'm like, wow, I missed out.
Oh,
I was like damn, like if I could go back in time.
What about like besides robotics? Because I know this is a robotics podcast. Let's say besides robotics, what would you tell like 9th grade Kehanna? First day she's coming into high school, what would you tell her? Any advice?
Learn how to take the bus. I got lost on my first day.
Oh.
I ended up like way past I don't know how far I got. I was like crying on the bus and I had to call my mom. She's like, get on the bus, come back. I never take the bus because my mom drives everywhere. So it was like the first day I came to school like second or third period, and I was like Should have learned how to take the bus.
You know, I joke about you being bougie, but now it's like you're just more convincing. I never took the bus in my life.
I did it. Like my mom drove everywhere. Like my whole life, I barely took the bus maybe like 2 or 3 times before like high school. But like aside from that, I think I would tell myself, I don't know, make some more friends. So I was very lonely. I didn't talk to anyone. I like was very quiet. Like people in class thought I was like mute. Like they thought I didn't speak. Yes, because I would sit in the corner of class and just not say anything. I would tell myself, just talk to people.
Do you ever get like palms sweaty, like any physical anxious?
I have that now.
Oh, you're yes. Sweaty palms right now. Oh, okay. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with like anxiety? Or your anxiety?
I don't know. I just breathe. Like
okay.
I just like take a second to like chill out and realize like the feeling's gonna pass. You know, it's like it's momentary. It's not like it's gonna be the end of the world. Yeah. Like I get that a lot. Like when I take tests or like even sometimes with robotics, when I have like a deadline coming up, I get very like nervous and I'm like, what if I can't do it? And I'm like, just chill out and just like breathe, you know? Like I think that's it. Yeah.
That's really good advice actually, because there's so many young people on the team and even off the team that just get really, really freaked out about really small things that will eventually pass. And like you said, just taking some time to breathe, take a moment, relax. It's gonna be over. It's not the end of the world. Unless it is the end of the world, then what advice do you have for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough question. Okay. I'm not sure now what to ask because I think I asked all my interesting questions. Let's talk about those ghosts that we were talking about before. You were saying that you were unsure about if you believe in ghosts. Like it's weird. Have you ever had any like spooky encounters? Any unexplained?
And I think my house is haunted, but then I'm like yesterday, my light switch for my dining room. It's like we have 2 light switches. So there's one like across the room, like in the living room, and there's one in the dining room. So I turned on the one in the living room, and I walked to the dining room, and the light was off. And I was like, what the hell? So I walked back, you know, I'm like, okay, I flick it again. Like, and then I go back again, and it's off again. I'm like, what is going on? So I turn it back on. I'm like, I literally, it was like the weirdest. I was like, is the house haunted? Because it's just so like, it was a weird moment. It was like, I mean, everyone was like sleeping. It was like midnight. Like, why is the light like
flickering like that?
And like even I don't like my room is in like my attic, so it's like the room was made like the attic was like made for a bedroom, so I have like stairs leading up. So I don't have a door, right? So I just hear, I know. I hear like noises sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this house? Like I literally sometimes I think it's haunted, but I'm like, this house is really old. So at the same time, I'm like, I think it's just the house making like noises, but I'm like, maybe like someone died here. Like,
oh my god!
I know it's like scary, but I'm like, whatever.
That's really interesting. Did you after like you hear these noises or the lights are turning off and on?
I put my headphones on.
She's like, I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
I literally put my headphones. I put my headphones on. I go under the blanket and I'm like, it'll pass.
Okay, right. I was gonna say like the strangest thing about this story you're telling me is that this happened in your dining room. I'm trying to think of like who has a dining room.
People don't have dining rooms?
No, I mean not our population of students.
H-U-P.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I used to have a dining room, but now in my 1-bedroom apartment, I don't have a dining room.
Really?
But yeah, when I used to live with my family and we were living in a house, we definitely had a dining room, but that was like a big house. So I'm interested to know, like, I'm very curious now, like, how many of our students actually have dining rooms, you know?
Send a survey.
What do you think about, oh my goodness, what do we think about, like, the expectation of our members? Do you think that they're, like, unrealistic, unreasonable, or?
I don't think it's unrealistic. I mean, I think sometimes some of them can't handle it, but then I'm like, it's like the real world. Like this team is like very much like the real world. And it's like in our school specifically, like we get babied like a lot through like a lot of things. And I think being on the team teaches you like in the real world, there's no one that's like holding your hand a lot. It's like you have to like learn a lot of things. And I think that a lot of the people on the team, they learn like what is expected of them, because when they get a real job, you can't like expect to like slack off and then like there to be like a payoff, you know.
Do you wish you got paid for robotics?
Sometimes. Like I didn't, when I first joined, I didn't expect it to be like this much work. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could get like that, like a job after school. I'm like, but then I'm like, if I get a job after school, then I can't be in robotics. And I'm like,
oh my god,
like, to be honest, everything I do is around robotics. Like even in class, I'm thinking about robotics.
Oh,
which is sometimes not good, but sometimes it's good. I just like think about robotics a lot, and I think about like the people, I think about my friends, I think about like the rookies, and it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it would be nice for some money, but like
I know, I wish the Full Metal Beavers paid me.
I know.
Maybe what do you think would be? Company? You know, if and when we become a company, then we might have to rethink like our nonprofit status, and if we become for profit, then we start paying our employees, you know, our members.
Oh my gosh.
What type of salary do you think is appropriate for the manager of productions?
130,000.
Oh, yes. Contract negotiation. Okay. 130,000. I'll note that down. I'm going to actually write that down. 130,000 per year for manager productions. What do you wish could be better or you could change? Like something that's not, like in your opinion, that's not good or like it's kind of lacking on the team right now. What do you feel like you could change or improve?
I mean, I don't know if this is answering your question, but like for like the members specifically, I feel like some of them need like more motivation to like come here. Because like some of them, I know I see them like go home after school and like they don't come to meetings, or like I don't know, I can't really change that. Yeah, you have to like, they have to want to be here.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I think I could change. I think collaborators, I think they need to realize like they can be more of leaders, and it's not always just like what your manager says. You can also have ideas, you know. I think that maybe if they had a voice more.
When you were a collaborator before you became a manager, did you feel like that? Did you feel like my opinion doesn't matter? I don't.
Last year, definitely. Okay. But I think this year, when Anupa was like my manager, she always like asked like my opinion on things. So I think that was very different. But I know like a lot of other leaders, they won't ask like their like collaborators what they think. They'll just like delegate the task.
That is something that I do notice. There are some managers and directors that are a bit more collaborative. Like they ask their collaborators or the people under them, what do they think about this? And they include them in the decision-making process. Do you think that makes a successful team or business?
I think so. Because I think if everyone feels like they're doing something, then they'll actually want to be here. But if they feel like what I have to say doesn't matter, then they're like, why am I here?
Yeah. I'll take that into consideration. I'll bring that up at the next director meeting, and you should bring that up at the next manager meeting. Actually, I should
talk more.
Yes, bring that up at the next manager meeting, so that way, the other managers are a bit more inclusive in their decision making process, who they're including. Okay, is there anything else maybe you want to say? Like you want to mention?
Follow our Instagram. Because like we need more followers. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I'm just checking the time. Okay, follow our Instagram. How many followers do we have on our Instagram?
A bit over 1,000.
Bit over 1,000.
Be nice to hit 2,000.
It'll be nice to hit 2,000. So how can they follow us on Instagram? What's our Instagram?
At Team 6636.
Nice. Thank you for that little shout out. Are there any other places any other shout outs you want to
go to our website? It's www.fullmetalbeavers.com, team6636.com.
Yeah.
Is it fullmetalbeavers.org?
Yes,
too?
you can also get .org.
See?
Yes, all of those plugs. Shameless plugs on our own podcast.
I mean, we have a Facebook too, I think.
Yes, we do. That's facebook.com/fullmetalbeavers. Okay, Kehanna, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really, really appreciate it. This is going to be episode 2 of the Full Metal Beavers Patreon podcast. I've been Dr. French. This has been Kehanna Nosworthy, an amazing senior, an amazing member, an amazing manager of the Full Metal Beavers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know.